r/ask Reddit. What is something that makes you say man, I effing hate people? Working in customer service. Absolutely. If you have never worked in customer service before, I can assure you it's worse than you think. There definitely are a lot of harder jobs out there, but I swear I'll lose my sanity working customer service. Worse are the people who treat you like the scum of the earth. Try and claim you should break company policy or do something illegal for them, and then scream I work customer service so I know how things should be. People who litter, especially when there is a bin literally a meter away. Kobe, oh shit, I missed the bin. Might as well leave it there for someone else to pick up. Littering is not Mamba mentality. Plastic litter on nature trails is really ducked up to me. Like, how does one enjoy a nature trail and at the same time think it's okay if we all toss Gatorade bottles there? Plastic litter on nature trails is really ducked up to me, and why the hell do dog owners take the time to pick up their dog shit, put it in a bag and then leave the plastic bag full of shit along the trail for everyone else to enjoy for all eternity? I'd rather the dog shit. At least it goes away eventually. What the hell is wrong with people? I think lots of owners do this because their dogs poop at the start of the trail but like half a mile in, so they bag it and pick it up on their way back, rather than carrying the poop with them for the whole hike. To circumvent this, I designated one of my own old Tupperwares as the poop container. I still bag the shit, but then place that bag in a sealed Tupperware so it doesn't get all squished up in my bag and doesn't smell. Pro tip: use scented bags. Some people might think this is overboard, but I honestly don't trust myself not to forget to pick up the baggie on my way out. Misspelled Tupperware. When a co-worker decides to correct me by sending a passive-aggressive email and copying the boss and the whole group instead of just saying something to me privately and in person. My boss used to send out cryptic emails to the entire company about behaviors instead of speaking privately to the person. Things like reprimands for gossiping or reminders to have a positive attitude. It just made everyone wonder if she was talking about them. Nothing says leadership like making all your subordinates anxious rather than respecting a person enough to confront them on an issue. After working as a critical care nurse for years now, you'd think it would be the countless IV drug abusers or alcoholics that I treat in the MICU. But it's not my patients that make me think that, it's their families. I get that most of the time. People are nervous for their loved ones. They don't want to lose their parent. But I see this situation happen over and over. When it's time, people can't just let go. So 95-year-old Nana comes in and has trouble breathing. We ask her if she would want to be intubated if necessary and says no. She doesn't want that or CPR. But there isn't a form and her daughter is healthcare proxy. Too bad the family doesn't respect that. So we tube her. But her blood pressure can't handle the sedation. So we need to start pressors. Then she develops a pneumonia. So we've got to pump her with antibiotics. But oops. Too bad she's already gone septic. Start some more pressors. Who care if she loses a few fingers and toes in the process? We've got a BP, right? Get some bedside dialysis going too. Might as well. Until ultimately, we tell the family it's getting to be futile and we should really just make her comfortable for her own sake. But no, they don't agree. Duck your years of schooling and experience. So Nana codes. I do chest compressions and break all of her ribs in the process. We shock her and slam her with drugs and fluids for a half hour until eventually there's literally nothing more to do. I'm sorry, I know this was such a long rant. I just got off an overnight. But it's happened so often, and every single time I just think of the agony we put this person through in their last days on earth, all because a family couldn't respect their loved one's wishes. Please, when it's time, just let me pump them with morphine and Ativan and let them go in peace and comfort. ED nurse here, spot on, or even worse. You get Nana coming in just barely pre-code with the one family member who's been taking care of them throughout whatever terminal disease process they have. They have leveled with the idea that their mom is going to die, and as DNI, the patient is about to die, when all the family members who haven't been around run in screaming at you that you need to save Nana, that she'll bounce back, that she has more time, that you don't know what you're talking about, that if you don't save her they'll kill you, etc. That if you don't save her they'll kill you. ETC1 security, please. Escort this particular fellow out. Might seem trivial, but ducking drives me nuts when people get off an escalator and just stop and decide where they want to go next. It's like, I can't stop this thing, you need to keep moving. Also, people who stand in doorways. Edit. Wow, I am so glad others feel the same. Also, thank you kind stranger for my first gold. This happened to me at the airport a few weeks ago. Guy gets to the top of the escalator with his huge piece of luggage, stops instantly, and pulls out his phone to look at something. Meanwhile, myself and about 6 other people with their own luggage are right behind him. Of course, he still had the audacity to get upset when I push past him and let him know he needs to move. I don't get it. What do you mean I'm not the only person in the world? How dare you? People being a-holes to servers hosts at a restaurant. My mom used to tell me, don't mess with the person who cooks your food. When I was being mischievous or difficult as a kid, I think of it all the time in regards to coffee shop restaurant courtesy now. Don't mess with the people who make your food, cut your hair, or drive you around. All of them can ruin your day. People edit. AI thanks for the awards guys. 3. What a bunch of bastards. I read this in Roy's voice from the IT crowd. Anytime I hear about rape gangs, child prostitution rings or morgue parties, a lot of people are just screwed in the head. What are morgue parties? Necrophiliac orgies. It makes me sick just putting it simply. People like Epstein were so brazenly breaking the law. The worst part of this is that Epstein was the ringleader, but there are currently dozens, if not hundreds, of pedophiles that were employing his services who will likely never see any kind of repercussions for their actions. Even when he was alive, they were already setting him up to be the fall guy. Lately there have been quite a few instances of someone or potentially multiple people putting poisoned meat out near dog parks. There is absolutely no valid reason to do that, and I hope they catch the asswipes. My colleague's dog died because of this. She was devastated. They called themselves dog hunters for some reasons. Man, if someone tried to hurt my dogs, I'd ducking eat them. People who say, oh, it's their job to clean up after me, or I'm making sure that they're still employed as an excuse for not cleaning up after themselves in public. Like number. You don't leave a soda spilled everywhere and then not even attempt to clean it up. You don't leave rolls and rolls of toilet paper all over the floor in the bathroom. You don't leave bags of popcorn and drinks and popcorn all over a theater floor and seats. Take responsibility. Clean up your mess. My dad does this. I work in the cinema so I get free tickets, but he refuses to clean up after himself and says it's their job. Does he not realize I literally work there? Screw his free tickets. We used to let people bring in their own food, against policy and all that, but we didn't care. We were making minimum wage. Then some a-holes ruined it for everyone. We kept finding junk we didn't sell all over the floor. Usually greasy gross shit like chicken bones or fast food sauces. Alcohol spills. Sticky sucks. Greasy can be fixed with some salt. Sticky requires a mop, and we got like 10 minutes to clean an entire theater. We finally said duck it. Privileges revoked. If people are going to abuse our goodwill, no more outside food. People that find the utmost joy in saying nasty shit behind others' back. Either that or people that plot on other people's demise. You know, like sit there and watch them make a mistake only to use it against them for their own personal gain when they could have just helped them in the first place. People who mistreat animals. I just can't fathom the mindset that enables someone to hurt truly innocent creatures. I agree. Animals deserve respect and protection. All animals, not just the ones we like. I agree, except for wasps. Duck wasps. People who drive drunk or texting. But I can do it. It's just everyone else who'd be dangerous when they do it. My sister-in-law recently lost her license to yet another DUI. Her main defense was, well, I haven't crashed the car yet. I must be an exception. People who don't return their grocery cart. Like, who do you think you are? At Aldi you can pay for the privilege of not returning the cart. Pushes 25-cent cart into traffic, peasants. Porch pirates. People thinking, hey, I know that's not mine but I want it so I'm taking it, makes my blood boil. We had that happen in our neighborhood once. Now I'm surrounded by 3 very nosy neighbors. Any strangers in the cul-de-sac and 3 sets of blinds get split by suspicious figures. I could have the Hope Diamond delivered by Amazon to my doorstep and I wouldn't worry about it. Ethel has eyes like a hawk. When people twist the truth and accuse you of things you didn't do and people side with them. Oh boy, I went through a divorce. I could prove every lie she told wasn't true, and people still sided with my ex-wife about the terrible things she accused me of. You just have to accept people will believe whatever they want or hear first and accept it as gospel. Student paramedic in the UK here. For context, you don't pay for healthcare in the UK, including the ambulance service. We often have patients who will ring us up and say over the phone things like I have chest pain. Chest pain is a high priority case and often gets dispatched as quick as possible. But upon arrival they will tell us I never said I had chest pain, yet we ring and ask for a transcript of the conversation and there it is. 9 out of 10 times we have to take them into hospital to check they're okay just in case there is any heart or lung issues. But people will lie to get things seen quicker through the emergency pathway. But people will get us out for anything because they can't be bothered to A. drive themselves, B. pay for a taxi, C. get public transport, or D. wait to see their GP, family doctor. You can leave people at home and tell them you won't take them, but if they ring back another crew will be sent out, or even worse, something bad could actually happen and you're stuck with the liability. It makes me so annoyed people see it as a taxi and not as an emergency service. But let me clarify, this is a small amount of people, but they're definitely there. Edit. My personal opinion. For all those saying this is why things shouldn't be free, this is a minority of people who do this. All of my patients are treated with dignity and respect. I've had people who've come off motorbikes, attempted suicide, heart attacks, pulled muscles, chest infections, the works. I know each and every one of them, no matter how dire the circumstances, will be treated fairly and equally for their condition with a care plan to look after them after they leave hospital. The NHS has saved my life and countless others and takes a small sum out of my taxes at the end of the month without the worry that I need to fork out for insurance. From all the comments for American and other EMS colleagues from around the globe, you guys are rocking it, by the way. Keep up the stellar work. The situation is similar in their work. People just don't pay, as a result your insurance premiums go up, and to pay the difference, in the end everyone pays for everyone else. Edit. Important. Please don't let this put you off calling an ambulance. If you are genuinely worried about yours or someone's health, call us up. We'd rather arrive and find it was nothing than be called when you're at your worst. Just give us some snacks. Yep, thanks for the gold and the platinum. When they did something obviously wrong and still openly denies it. Driving. Every single day. Basic goddamn concepts like merging, passing lanes, blinkers, etc. always seem to elude the backwards dumb ducks in the redneck infested state that I live in. It's really not hard to pay attention to what you're doing on the road. Some people are absolutely ducking brain dead though. Edit. Tie for gold and silvers. I find it a minor miracle that most of us get where we are going every day. Same behavior in the Midwest state that I live, by the way. Turn signals. What is so damn hard about the concept? Adults who take youth sports way too seriously. My cousin is super smart. She had the opportunity to be accepted into an honors program and get a scholarship, possibly a full ride. Her softball team had a tournament game the same day as honors day and her mother made her go to the game because the team needed her. Now she's up to her eyeballs in debt and they lost the ducking game anyway. This is one of the most important posts. They ruin sports for their children and other children as well. I hated the parents who would kiss ass to the coach and get their kid played. My parents didn't have time to watch me play, so I never did. Not saying I was good, but I don't need a 40-year-old reminding me at every game when I'm finally out on the field. Call down Karen, your 8th grader has played 30 full minutes and we are still losing. She isn't getting a damn scholarship. Animal cruelty really makes my blood boil. People who can't take no for an answer and will push you to agree accept what they say. People who can't accept criticism when they duck up and affect other people's lives. People who can't have a discussion where they are being told a fact and they disprove it because back in the day, our authority arguments should always win. It teaches you some hardcore patience when you have to deal with people like these on the daily. When people don't pick up their dog's poop. This is a major issue where I live. We have lots of trails and people will either leave dog poop where it lies, or bag it up then leave it on the trail. Which is worse because now you have a non-decomposable shit bomb someone is bound to step on at some point. YouTube, Instagram, social media influencers who make a living off being an obnoxious piece of shit, with thousands millions of mindless drones rooting them on, buying their merch, giving them advertising power, and imitating them. Edit. And to clarify, I'm not talking about all influencers. I'm specifically talking about ones who harass, annoy, and distress people, usually completely random bystanders, cause drama, and have a mindless legion of followers who support it all the way. People who abuse their power and get away with it scot-free. One of my friends are being bullied to the point of wanting to commit suicide because he is against underage drinking and drugs. That's ducking awful. No one should be bullied for standing up for what they believe in, within reason, obviously, and that certainly applies here. I hope they get help and that the bullying has stopped. Edit. Because PPL keep writing me and I'm at work and don't have time to respond to everyone. Let me just make it clear. By within reason I'm saying, for example, that I don't advocate for white supremacists to stand up for what they believe in. Duck that and duck white supremacists. On the other hand, being against underage drinking or people cheating on their spouses or other stances of the sort that can lead to being ostracized depending on the context don't merit bullying, obviously, at least in my book. FaceTime in public. Man, duck those people. My issue is less about in public and more people who do it on speaker or in places like while walking on the sidewalk or on the bus where you're actively bothering other people. If you want to FaceTime and talk through your headphones at a normal volume in a park or something, or FaceTime your parents from the grocery store to make sure this is the thing they needed, I don't mind much. Every day when I hear about the next despicable vile thing done by the human race, especially if it involves kids or animals, people can be so cruel. So a guy was tailgating me. Seriously, not like he was kinned off close. I'm talking I tap brakes and we are both done kinned off close. I'm going over the speed limit too. So when he finally goes to pass me, I go to flick him off. I turn to do it, but he's already flicking me off, totally taking the steam out of my middle finger. He was the one driving like an a-hole. Next time you wanna flip someone off, try giving a thumbs down with a really disapproving look. It gets to them way more than the middle finger. In fact, I can't help but laugh when someone gives me the bird. Gestures broadly at everything. Driving. I always ponder the dangers of overpopulation when driving. Lazy ducks who can't put their shopping carts away. A-holes who pull out in front of you when there's no one behind you. Dipshits who are mowing and blowing their grass and trash into the road. Duckwards who double park. Dunt bobbles who don't tip no matter what. Knobgoblins who take stuff from the frozen food section and leave it elsewhere in the store. There's more. Keep it going. Cheating in most of its forms. Whether that's having sex with a person other than your partner or driving in the emergency lane to cut ahead of traffic. It doesn't matter. They both get me flustered. Weirdly, I don't consider cheating in exams or in sports to be that bad, though that depends on the manner of cheating. When people slow down as soon as they cut in front onto your lane on the highway. Worst is when they do it with no blinkers. People who abuse the elderly, disabled, children, animals or anything that cannot defend itself pushes me over the edge. I can't comprehend why anyone would do that. Reason for the shit punctuation is I never bothered in school, so sorry for that. Elderly disabled children is one of those things that could really benefit from commas. My job. Oh, and people. People make me hate people. Anyone who parades their opinion around as if it is solidly factual. No, your emotional reaction does not equals fact. No, your deeply held gut feeling is not a fact. No, getting belligerent and offended doesn't make it a fact. Duck and hate people, man, lol. People who abuse other people, or abuse animals. The fact that people at festivals care about Earth and the amount of litter on the ground is disgusting. Not to mention, even if every bit of it was picked up, it would still end up on the ground, and these people somehow think okay. Kind of a giant double standard if you ask me. Anyone who is cruel to their animals, neglecting feeding them or vet care. I don't understand those type of people or why they do this. A dog in my country went viral because it was recently put to sleep because acid was thrown at it. The pics were of her raw skin, and to see the owner posting her before pic was unreal. Owner was not responsible. Dog escapes and whoever did it hasn't been found. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.